And I think Jason is, let me admit him. There we go.
There's my friend Jason Sloda. He's gonna him and his wife Colleen are gonna help facilitate tonight for the small groups or the breakout groups. So hi Colleen or Jason, whoever that is. Um, Hi there. This is the April 29th, 2026 meeting of the community engagement meeting of the OUSD Multi-Stakeholder Engagement Group. And we welcome anyone who is here. We have interpretation, I believe, in Spanish, correct?
Go ahead, Santiago.
Hola, tenemos interpretación en español. Si lo necesitan, por favor, de levantar su mano y de apretar en el globo terráqueo, ¿verdad? Ya después, cuando usted presione eso, va a ver la opción del lenguaje. Solamente escoja su lenguaje y esto sería en español y podrá escuchar la interpretación al español. Spanish interpretation is over.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and start the interpretation. And very briefly, oh, here are some instructions. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, if you are listening to the meeting, if you are, wait a minute, I'm sorry, I just lost my screen. Yeah, sorry, this meeting is being recorded. We can see and hear everyone. And we ask that everybody keep your sound turned off until you ask a question or make a comment. And please raise your hand if you would like to participate and come off mute. Here's a message about language access. We actually will hold a multilingual meeting on May 7th that will have interpretation in languages other than Spanish. We are organizing interpretation in Arabic, Cantonese, Mam, and Spanish for the May 7th meeting, which is next week. If you are listening to the meeting in Spanish and also choose to speak in Spanish, please let us know by raising your hand right now. Don't see any hands. You can also help by renaming yourself on Zoom with ESP in front of your name. We will have small group conversations later in the meeting, and we'll need to assign you to a Spanish-speaking room.
And I will step in, thank you, Matt, just to say that as your Zoom host tonight, if we should have any hateful, harmful, damaging words or images, whether it be out loud in the chat, in the gallery view, I will need to close the meeting. You can return using the same link, except that when you return, some Zoom features will be turned off. Thank you so much.
Okay. We are the Oakland Unified School District Multi-Stakeholder Engagement Group. Notice the emphasis on unified engagement. We do have a website that dropped about an hour ago. And anyone who is paying attention, I encourage you at any point to go on the website where you'll be able to register for an account, stay up to date with us and this process. And we're very excited about it. So, who we are. We are a group of volunteers representing the various stakeholder groups of OUSD with leadership from our advisory committees. In collaboration with the OUSD community, our goal is to help shape how engagement and decision-making should look to inform the future of our district. The planning group is currently made up of three parent leaders from the advisory committees, one classroom teacher, one school classified staff, one principal, one central engagement staff, one central financial services staff, and the two board liaisons to the advisory committees. Here's a list of our planning group volunteers. In spirit of transparency, everybody's name is on here. I'll let that sit for a second. I won't read everybody. You'll see I'm on there. Latifa, who is doing facilitation along with me tonight, is actually also there, and so is Troy. And obviously Cynthia. I'm going to pass it over to Latifa to go through our agreements. Hi, Latifa.
Hey, Good evening, everyone. So let's go to our agreements for the night. We're gonna do one microphone. So please everyone don't talk over each other. And then take space to make space. Tough on problems and easy on the people. These are gonna be very hard conversations we're having. Honor the agenda and stay on time, which we're gonna try very hard to do. Speak to be understood and listen to understand. This is very important because we have interpretation going. So try to refrain from using acronyms or speaking too fast. And so really taking that time to speak to be understood essentially, and also taking time to listen so that we actually hear people and what's being said. And finally, offer solutions. Next slide. Our goals for today is to know what are the 4 phases of OUSD's financial stabilization plan and the goals for each phase. We're also going to identify the conditions for a successful phase 4 engagement process in collaboration with other OUSD community members. These were also the goals for our March 31st in-person meeting, and this is going to be another opportunity for our community to participate in this stage of the process. And like mentioned earlier, we're going to have another May 7th one for that's going to have more interpretation. Just going to be similar to this one. And now the program for today. We're doing our introductions and welcome agreements, goals, agenda, and there's going to be a registration that's coming up. Then we're going to go to our introduction along with the superintendent welcome. Then we're going to move to the meaningful community engagement, where you're going to listen to the personal experience from the panel that happened on March 31st. And that's 7:05. We're going to move over to our small group conversations. And then at 7:40, we're going to share out from the small groups and then hear what the March 31st group said. And we will hopefully end at 8. Next slide. And registration. Please help us track participation in these important community meetings by filling out the sign-in sheet for tonight. And I believe Cynthia's gonna post it in there. This is the Spanish one has been posted, and now we're gonna post the English. Please use the sign-in sheet. It really does help us. Oh, so that one was this English. So please click on that link and fill out that sign-in sheet.
I think I did it again. Okay, folks, the form that is in English ends in TDA. The form that is in Spanish ends in U7. So apologies, moving too fast. So I'm going to try one last time. This is English. And doing this also gives people time to fill it out. We do want to allow a little bit of time within the meeting for people to open it. So this is the English. I don't think I've ever done this many consecutive linking errors in a meeting before. So here's Spanish. Those are the correct ones. Okay.
And we will add a raffle to our June 1st in-person meeting. And those who fill out the sign-in sheet will be entered into the raffle. Just another incentive, and we do promise good prizes. Need thumbs up inside the chat on the correct links for the Spanish and English one, if that makes it easier. We will use your contact information to send you a very important anonymous questionnaire. The questionnaire will allow us to learn about the lived experiences and identities of the participants in these meetings. It will help us to understand who we are reaching and not yet reaching as well. So please fill out that survey or sign-in sheet. And now I'm gonna send it off to Matt. Or
Thank
do you
you.
want to book time to see if it's
Yeah,
other?
do we want to give some time, Cynthia, just to
We should. We have the time. So why not pause for a moment and allow people to fill out the sign-in form and let us know when they're done. Maybe a little thumbs up.
yeah.
Hi, Cynthia. This is David, the interpreter. Wondering
Thank
if
you, David. Thank you. That will give me an opportunity to
yeah,
add David to the interpretation channel. Thank you, David.
no problem.
Okay. So to repeat, we're just allowing people the opportunity to fill out the sign-in sheet. Welcome to, I just saw someone join us, Jennifer Caban.
Also, hi, Dr. Sadler. Thanks for coming.
Oh, I didn't look lower in the list. There we go. Yes. And if you want to, some people arrive later, if you want to share the link to the website, that would be a good use of our time.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Latifa already shared the presentation, the link to the entire presentation.
I am getting a text from somebody that says they can't seem to get a hold of the Zoom link.
Oh, do you? So it is on our OSD
Yeah.
website and the
Yeah.
calendar entry that I sent today, if you want to get it from there. I could also get it from within the meeting, if
Yeah,
that is helpful, and then
yeah,
it can be shared.
I'll post it.
So the invite link is on the chat if you need to get it from there. Okay, we can move on.
Great. So I'm going to talk through the 4 phases of OUSD's financial stabilization plan. This is just an overview, and it's just meant to sort of ground where we are in the process, or where we fit into the process. And so I'd like to go through the 4 phases briefly here. OUSD is embarking on a multi-year effort to fix our district's budget and to keep local control and oversight of our schools. This financial stabilization plan consists of 4 major phases that run from late 2025 into 2027-2028 and beyond. Phase 1 is the stabilize phase. We began the school year with a projected $100 million budget deficit for 26-27. The board brought in outside experts to clarify where the district's finances stand. The district acted to restore the reserve that is required by the state. This included things such as hiring freezes and pauses on spending. They filed a qualified first interim budget report to the county. Qualified certification means that OUSD must take clear actions to balance the budget moving forward.
A teeny bit slower, Matt, on the pace. Thank you.
Phase 2 is realign. The district brought staffing back in line with what it can currently afford. It offered retirement incentives and cut positions that were vacant or that were paid by grants that were set to end. They implemented over $64 million in reductions while maintaining specific areas of spending based on a set of adopted priorities. And on February 26th, the board voted for layoffs to implement those reductions. Where we are now is within phase 3, which is the repair phase. And as we mentioned, actually we seem to have repeated a slide. I'm not sure. This was just the same as the last slide. Did I? read it wrong, or let me go check out my
And thank you. That speaks to the pace of work for all of us.
yeah.
So it's okay to fix this in real time.
Let's take a look here.
Here we are.
Yeah, you can just go for, there you go. That's where I am.
That is it.
Great.
Thank you, folks.
Pardon our
And we-
dunce. We we don't do very many meetings over Zoom, do we, Cynthia? It doesn't happen very
No,
often.
we don't. No.
At any rate, for phase 3, state law actually requires every school district to pass a balanced budget by June 30th. And this phase takes everything from phases 1 and 2 and turns it into the budget that will be adopted for the 26-27 school year. They adapt the budget based on new information, including knowledge of the actual dollars that we will receive from the state after the release of the May revise, which includes the money that we will be getting from it says that, what we're getting from the state. Lion blind. We can go to the next one. Oh yeah. Phase 4, rebuild. And this is where we are focusing, this group, the engagement group is focusing its work. Starting now for 27-28, our community has a chance to step back and ask bigger questions. How should OUSD be organized? What should it look like going forward? What do Oakland families actually want from their district and schools? The focus of our engagement is to bring community voices into the conversation so that the board and district administrators hear directly from the people they serve as they shape what comes next. Just a little bit of context here. We're going to talk about the Parent-Student Advisory Committee's 4 questions, which was our starting point for a lot of this work. And I'll briefly walk through those. This actually was from a January 2025 report to the OUSD School Board that PSAC delivered. We understand that everyone in OUSD must have the following overarching conversations to be able to address the financial challenges of our district. What resources and services should be managed through our central budget and departments? What in our centralized budget is most essential to students, schools, and OUSD as a whole? What resources and services should be managed through school budgets or allocated directly to specific schools? How and why should those resources and services be assigned to specific schools? What in our school allocations, sorry, I'm having trouble seeing stuff here, is most essential to students? How many students should OUSD operate? How many schools should OUSD operate? Of what kind? Of what minimum or maximum size, and where? What should be our landscape of schools? What combination of schools would best serve OUSD students? This conversation also includes the use of vacant facilities. And then finally, how could we generate additional resources for our students? The description of phase 4 presented by staff directly connects to these questions that PSAC has been posing and addressing through its meetings and communications, and that's why we are all here. I want to welcome Superintendent Sadler once again. Very briefly, I just want to say thank you for your continued engagement with us and this group and your support that you've shown, and just wanted to give you some time to speak to us.
Thank you so much, Matt. I continue to be impressed with PSAC's ongoing thoughtful work. That's why I love coming to your meetings, because you work to engage community. I just left a meeting with ACC, our students, and you've just been a great model for how to connect with stakeholders. And that's something that's really important to me. And I wanted to appreciate having this time to just let you know what's on my mind. And I've been thinking a lot about this. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this work if I was not committed to being a servant leader, and that is means supporting our students and families and engaging staff to that end. I want you to know that I have really been pushing to, obviously, as Matt went over the different phases that we're in, I really want to make sure everybody understands my thoughts about having a different approach to budget development. And that is one of the biggest changes that we've made. Well, I've been working with this and with staff is for us to think about, we've historically budgets have relied heavily on assumptions that are not always aligned with the actual trends. And to say that's not the approach we're taking now. We're working with our consultants, fiscal team, people right in the room today, people like Troy Christmas and many more, to develop fiscal reports and budgets that are reliable, defensible, and regularly updated to reflect the school district's current fiscal condition. This is something I know our board is committed to. It's something that I feel is important. So we will not get into the situation that we've been in again, being in state takeover. And I've been in the district for all 22 years. So that means our current budget process is data driven using realistic enrollment and ADA projections. That's not just what we're hoping and dreaming we have. It's real information. Having a multi-year focus, not just thinking year to year, oh, we just got by this year, we added this money, we found money for this, and we're going to be okay this year. We've got to think multi-year. We've got to sustain our plans and make decisions that are sustainable over time. And we've got to be cash flow informed, recognizing that the timing of revenues and expenditures matters as much as the total amounts. And we've got to be legally grounded, clearly separating unrestricted funds from restricted funds and recognizing the limits on how those funds can be used. The last point is really particularly important. While the district may report total cash balances that appear sufficient, not all those funds are available for general operations. I want the community and all of our stakeholders to understand that piece. Historically, the district has fully utilized unrestricted funding while underutilizing restricted funding, which has specific guidelines for use. Our budgeting and financial reporting now reflects a more effective use of district funds. This is a shift. The other piece I want us to think about is the state budget context. The governor's budget, the proposed budget of 26-27, provides some positive support to school districts, including a 2.41% cost of living adjustment and additional one-time funding through discretionary block grants and targeted programs. In fact, I'm going to be traveling to Sacramento. This is something I talked to Matt about in past meetings. The real issue is, really where our funding comes from, the state and federal government. And so, I am so tired after all these years of service, seeing that, us having to deal with these dynamics when we're not really dealing with the source of where our revenue actually comes from. We've got to get people to understand what it takes to operate schools and operate schools well. These resources that we're hearing about are helpful. We're also incorporating them in our planning. But however, until we actually find out the fine points of any revenue that might come to the district, we've heard a lot of different things. This is why I along with many other leaders, will be going to Sacramento, talking to leaders, including our governor, to really get some quality information on what they perceive will really happen with revenues. This is very significant because our ongoing costs have been going up, which creates future fiscal risk. So the district is planning to use one-time funds for one-time purposes. This is what has got put us into challenging situations in the past, and we've got to be very clear around how we use those one-time funds. And even to the extent when people are hired, people things are purchased, that everybody understand this is a one-time funded staff position or one-time funded materials acquisition, one-time funded is really, really important for people to understand how those funds are used for one-time purposes. And this is why funding stabilization and targeting student support while preserving ongoing revenues is very important in terms of meeting our obligations. The other piece that I want you to think about, what am I recommending regarding our path to fiscal solvency? Well, our path is clear. It requires that we focus and are extremely disciplined. And there are four areas that have to be addressed. We have to have structural alignment, and that is to ensure that staffing, programs, and operations are aligned with enrollment and available resources. Not our hopes, not our dreams, but real alignment. It also means cost containment. This is why I'm looking at every single contract over $15,000 and approving whether it can be let. It takes a lot of time, but it's really important for us to really address what our major cost drivers are and how we can even be more efficient. I'm even talking with other districts about how we can purchase together things that we all use, paper, ink, materials. We've got to think differently and be bold about how we use the funds we do receive. And then we've got to really focus on revenue stability. And that means supporting attendance and enrollment to maintain funding levels. That has been a challenge. That's something I've been working on. It's something that I believe can ultimately have an impact on the revenue that we receive. And then I can't say it enough, fiscal discipline. And that's utilizing appropriate funding for necessary expenses and maintaining sufficient liquidity and transparent data-driven reporting. I want the board to hear regularly how we're doing in these areas and the systems that we've put in place to change some of the old ways we've been doing things over time. I believe keeping these core approaches can direct us towards a sustainable financial plan and ultimately solvency. So where are we today? Where does this leave us today? The district is not ignoring fiscal challenges. We've acknowledged them and we are addressing them directly. We are reviewing how we're doing business, what the details are, how we're meeting our obligations, what the pattern has been over the past, and we are working to interrupt some of the practices that have not been helpful and also how we've been operating. Oakland Unified has made real progress, reducing the originally identified structural deficit by more than half. That's significant. At the same time, moving forward, we must have a plan that's grounded in data, aligned with our legal requirements, and focused on long-term stability. I must, close at this juncture by saying the work is ongoing. It will require continued collaboration like this, the quality work that PSAC does, making sure people have information, make sure people feel comfortable speaking up, making sure people partner, that people share ideas respectfully. It's important that we listen to our students, our end users, our employees, and the community at large. And it's something that I'm totally committed to is providing as much as possible reliable updates and make the adjustments that we must make. Sometimes they are harsh, hard, and painful. But this is something that we must do. We must be financially stable and focus so we can focus on our mission, and that is serving students and families. I really want to thank PSAC for how they communicate, their organization, their willingness as volunteers, and their commitment to make a difference in doing what I feel is so important, and that's providing an environment where every student soars, every student has an opportunity to learn, every student has an opportunity to be successful, feel safe. These are my standards. These are the principles that I think are so critical. I know, and you hear me say this all the time, I know what an education can do for families, and I'm so committed to doing everything I can possibly do while in this role. And even it's been my life's work, even outside of this role, to be an advocate for our students and families. And particularly, I'm extremely sensitive to our special needs families in that that was a lot of my primary work. So I want to thank you for this opportunity, Matt. You all have, reached out. You've always given me time and have been so thoughtful about making sure I was included. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank all of you who volunteer to do this work to make sure people get good information and feel comfortable participating in this important dialogue. So thank you very much. Did I meet my time, Matt?
Wow,
Had to work on it.
thank you. Yeah, you nailed it. Thank
Okay,
you
thank
so
you
much,
so
Dr.
much.
Sadler. Yeah, and just to very, very briefly elevate and echo a bit of that. One of the things that's been very, very important to us as a group, and it's all the advisory committees, but also this multi-stakeholder engagement group, we really value hard critique, but done respectfully. And I think that that's what we're going to continue to hold throughout this entire process. And that's why it's been really refreshing to be able to talk to you and have reasonable conversations about tough stuff. So I think we can move on. And speaking of engagement, we've had a few more people filter in, and I just wanted to make sure that folks saw do we want to repost? Oh yeah, I don't know if people can see historical chat links. Maybe we want to repost the actual links to the entry survey or the registration.
Yeah, and thank you, Troy. If you can do that for us, that would be amazing.
Thanks, Troy.
And
Cool.
and the link to the presentation would be helpful too. So thank you, and thank you, Superintendent Sadler, for your words. And I'm going to try to do justice to this next segment because it's a lot in an overview, but people use the terms meaningful community engagement a lot. And this is what it means to this group. So I'm going to go over some criteria that guide us. So meaningful community engagement is an inclusive, transparent, and empowering process built on trust, sustained relationships, and shared power. It requires co-creating solutions, ensuring shared benefit, and providing accessible, ongoing, and culturally respectful opportunities for input that directly influences outcomes. And the criteria are inclusivity and equity, so actively involving a diverse participants. And we are trying to monitor that, and we continue to encourage you to fill out our questionnaire about lived experience because we are tracking who we are reaching and who we are not reaching. So particularly those participants that are often overlooked and addressing language and other obstacles to participation. So to us, we ask ourselves, what are some specific ways in which we can build an inclusive and equitable process? Transparency and trust, maintaining clear, honest communication, and providing feedback loops that show how input was incorporated. Examples for us is the creation of the website where we can post everything and everybody can be up to date and reflecting back what people said in previous engagements and how it's being used. So what are specific ways to be transparent and foster trust? Shared power and decision making, moving beyond informing the community to engaging in co-design. This process is an example of co-design. It is stakeholders from different roles in our district working together to build a process, not just dictate it, and using what people say to reshape it as we go. So we are trying to live up to that one as well. Sustainability and commitment, long-term sustained relationships rather than one-off consultations. How do we stay in it? How do we make it so that people can stay in it? And that, of course, also takes resources, which is an ongoing conversation in this group. Accessibility and flexibility does relate to the first criteria of inclusivity. At the same time, this is about anyone finding this process easy to use. So hosting meetings and convenient times and locations, online, offline, using clear language, and we're going to continue to work on that, and offering diverse ways to engage, and not always meetings necessarily. So we are working on that. So there are essential questions for this process. What is our purpose? As a group, we're going to continue to return to it and define it clearly, understanding our historical context for us and our community members, understanding the who of who we're trying to reach, really identifying pain points in our community, experiences, reasons that make it difficult to be engaged, tensions that need to be addressed, having goals that are ours, but also understanding what community goals might be in different segments of our community and trying to figure out what are the shared goals that we can all line up behind. We need resources, staff, money, time, networks, gaps. We have to address that. Having good communication, leading to things, during things, and after the things that we do. And then really asking ourselves again and again, what does meaningful engagement mean? So that is an overview that sets the stage for the next section of our program tonight. This was a live section at the March 31st meeting, and today it's a recording. So I'm going to pass it to Latifa to set that up.
Thank you. Let's see. On March 31st, we benefited from the advice of parent leaders who participated in high-stakes district engagement processes in the past. After we reviewed our criteria for meaningful engagement, they shared their wisdom based on the following questions. And just to mention, the panel was Raquel Johnson, Christian Zinman, and JD Woloshin.
And the questions are here for reference. They are repeated in the video. Thank you, Matt, for taking the video.
Yeah, you just one real quick link. It should open up with closed captions on because the audio isn't super great. The captions are actually all right. Thank you, Cynthia. That went longer than I thought, but I think it's okay. I do want to quickly, as we get set for and reset for the conversations, I do want to say that a lot of what came out of that panel is extremely resonant with this because what we're talking about right now is process. The engagement process itself, and we're trying to focus on how to create that. That is what stage of our journey we are at here. And I think that it's important to remember that what we want to do is create a process that is durable and will continue on where perhaps others haven't been able to. And that's the entire point behind this. And so with that, I believe that we can talk through the instructions. Our small group will not be, we will not have as many small groups as we anticipated. So we're gonna plan on the fly here. But Cynthia, would you like to go ahead?
Thank you for the live collaboration. We were chatting fiercely behind the scenes about shifting these instructions. So the idea is still the same. We're going to split into groups, or small groups, roughly 4 or 5, to have conversations, and we will have a space for those who want to speak in Spanish. So each group is going to take a few minutes to choose 3 roles. The roles could be the same person, but the roles must exist. A facilitator, a person who can help move the group through the steps of the activity and call on people to speak, even though I believe Matt is going to go into that space and help to facilitate a little bit. One of the groups. A recorder, a person to take notes of what the group members say. We had poster paper that we wrote up, took notes of on computer later, but this is basically taking the place of that poster paper we had in the live meeting. So someone to record and someone to report out, to share with the larger group what the small group discussed without naming individuals. So we had prepared for 7 groups. So I do want to thank everybody whose name is on the slide right now who were volunteering to facilitate. And we're only going to do group 1 and 2. Mayra, yes, thank you so much, Mayra, for helping to support the Spanish speaking group. She was in the first event and is a member of the English Learner Subcommittee of our district. And Matt will help out the English group. We are asking all staff who are district staff, not teachers, not individual school staff, but all district staff who are helping this process to stay in the main space and not join the groups. And the same for our board members. Thank you for the board members who are also helping out this process, but we stay in the main space. The interpreters can choose to go to small groups, but they're going to be monolingual spaces. So our prompt for conversation, everyone has feelings about being here today based on the reasons we're here. Our previous experiences, like the panel shared, and our imaginings about what lies ahead. Think about your experience with similar groups or processes, how things didn't go as well as you'd liked, and maybe what went very badly. We will get out on the table our concerns about the community engagement process for Phase 4 of OUSD's Financial Stabilization Plan. We will also share our hopes for how this work can go well and have positive effects. So allow folks for the first 10 minutes to introduce themselves and share a fear. Get fears out first. The recorder writes what each person says in this document that I'm going to put in the chat. And thank you so much to those who are going to record. And if you are the kind of person who likes to write on paper, you can do so. But please send me a picture. Send us a picture of that paper. And I will put my number 510-491-6069. So you can send that picture.
This is a public document. You want to put your phone number there? Why don't you put our email address?
Oh, it is fine. So this number is public. I don't know if you know that, but so everyone has the right to pass. They can wait until their turn comes up again. If a person fully agrees with another person, they can just say so, and we'll add a little +1 to that statement. And persons should not be interrupted while sharing. Please avoid taking any fears personally, because fears likely arise out of past lived experience. So the second half of the small group is going to be sharing one hope using the same guidelines. And we will return to the large group to hear from everyone. So I'm going to repeat that when I open the breakout rooms, room 1 is for Spanish speakers and room 2 is for English speakers. And if you are a district staff who's been supporting processes or is in a very decisional role, stay in the main space. And so do board members. So this is for parents, family, school staff, community members. Okay, so, and this activity, of course, is borrowed from Hope and Fears activity that is linked in the slides. So it is 7 right now. We're going to do the whole, well, I think we can pull it off because we don't have a lot to share, so we can do the full 30 minutes.
I think so.
And I'm going to stop sharing for a second to open up the breakout rooms. I'm going to open them all up. Please don't use 3 to 8. Just use 1 for Spanish and 2 for English. And you can join on your own. If you were at the last engagement, please allow people who did not participate to share first. If somebody needs help to join a group, please let me know. Welcome, Felipe. Thank you for being here. Marina, al
¿Me
salón
quedo
número...
aquí yo? Sí.
No, vaya al número 1 y yo la pongo, no se preocupe. And I will take some time to copy the prompts into the chat. I see Diane Lee in a room that was assigned to Troy. I don't know if, oh, I saw she just changed.
I don't see how you get to the rooms.
So who's speaking to me right now?
Yolanda.
I'm going to take you to your room. Don't worry.
Thank you.
There you go. I see Cipriana. Do you want to go to a room, Spanish or English? Carrillo. ¿Quiere? La pongo en
¿Y
el
cómo le hago
salón.
para ir al grupo 1?
Yo la pongo. Ahí voy.
Ah, ok.
And I see someone by the name of Lisette. Do you need help? Okay. And Mateo, do you need help? Just checking.
Oh, I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. I teach at Matt West. I don't know if that means I
Yes,
stay where I'm at
absolutely.
or.
Nope. District staff. You're a school site staff, and we do want you in room 2. I'm
Okay,
going to
thank
send
you.
you over there. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to pause the recording.
Que haya más participación comunitaria. Miedos es el miedo a no ser escuchados, a que nuestra palabra no tenga valor, miedo al lenguaje, miedo a perder la intención del servicio por malas experiencias, miedo a socializar después. Se perdió el miedo a socializar después de la pandemia, perdimos todos muchos grupos que ya estaban organizados. Es todo, mi Cintia.
Go ahead, David. You can improve on this.
All right, I'll try. The hopes of our group to see results, to see if we've made progress, and for there to be more participation, community participation. And our fear is that
En español.
No hay, Santiago is interpreting or not? ¿No estás escuchando
I believe he's
interpretación?
on his break.
Oh, okay, so we can do it in Spanish again. Ya lo dijo Mayra. Pero está repitiendo ahora en inglés. Marina.
Esto es solo la traducción,
Ok,
Marina.
pues
Sí, okay.
And our fear is that our word, our opinion won't be valued. We're also have a fear of the language that's used, and fear of losing our services because of experiences that we've had. And also the pandemic made us lose a lot of the groups that we had organized before. So we lost a lot of that progress that we had made.
for that, and I'm going to return you to the interpretation channel.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we're ready for group 2.
Okay. Yolanda, are you, did you want to walk through some of the things, our hopes and fears? We can put them up on the screen. I can, think I can just cut and paste our notes into what, if you're cool doing that. If Yolanda's in here. I'm not sure oh, there she is.
I'm in here, but I didn't take the notes.
Oh yeah. You didn't, but I don't know. You were in there. Do you? I'm happy to we can ask Jason to do it because Jason was taking notes. Jason, are you available?
Yeah, I'm here. What do you need me to do?
Yeah. Do you just want to summarize?
Yes.
Yeah, and let me. I'm gonna cut and paste them into the slide on the screen right now, so Cynthia, I can do that. And you can go ahead and yeah, here we go. Hopes first.
Hopes first. Our hopes are we have a chance to do something special. All students, especially those on the fringes, get the resources they need. We hope that we are wrong about what we fear. That is a very pointed and correct statement, I think, we all agreed on that one. We hope that we are wrong about what we fear, and we want to be the school system that people around the country want to model themselves after. We have a hope and a wellspring of hope and vision for a better future around the Oakland ethos and can-do spirit. We hope for transparency on the new website surrounding the decision-making process and hope for greater parent involvement.
Great.
Our fears. Lack of community turnout. Are we starting this process with too much complexity? Are we reaching all groups of parents and community from different backgrounds? Is this whole process actually going to accomplish anything? Is this whole thing a worthwhile process? Will our voices actually be heard this time? We have a fear of overdependency on analytics while undervaluing the human element. Fear that our hopes and desires will be reshaped to fit other narratives not in line with our own thoughts and desires. We have fear of school closures, Black faculty layoffs, school student safety, and more trauma to our community. We are worried about the most vulnerable in our community. Hopefully I got everything.
Yeah, great note taking. I think you got it.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna move us forward. And
Yeah,
thanking everyone.
We're running just a couple of minutes behind here, but yeah, the next part is the easy part. I do want to say that in our group, even though we have these like small group discussions, it's always great to hear the how cohesive some of the fears and hopes are. We heard a lot of the same things at the March 31st meeting, and you can look at the agenda and there's an update. These are actually also posted on the website, and I'll make sure that those are pretty accessible. And it was also on Parent Square, so keeping an eye on Parent Square is good. I will say that we can go to the message from participants. One of the things that we heard a lot about at the first meeting, we heard it again tonight, obviously, but a lot of it came out of the panel discussion that we listened to, and the idea that trust requires a feedback loop is probably the strongest signal that we've been getting. And it ties into a lot of the other fears that and hopes actually that we heard tonight. It really means reflecting back to participants what has been done with the suggestions that they have shared with decision makers. And participants need evidence that what they said was heard and that is being actively considered and integrated into the solutions that are crafted. And I think that this idea that there is a fear, and I think this was pervasive in our breakout group, and we also heard it from the Spanish-speaking group, that everybody shares the concern that this is going to lead to nowhere, that it's not going to be effective. All of those things are very, I would say, extremely valid. They're on the minds of everybody in this group. And we believe, based on what we're hearing and what we heard from the panelists, that a huge piece of this is making sure that there is a circle of trust, I guess, or a feedback loop that we're reflecting back, so people at the very least see right up front that they are being heard. So everything that was being said tonight will be on the website very soon, and we'll be sharing out with everybody who's participated in these meetings, some very hopefully some very accurate reflections of the feedback and hopes and fears. So I think we can move to the next.
We already talked about the upcoming engagement.
Oh, we did.
Right?
Yeah, we already talked about upcoming engagements.
It's important to note the change in date.
Yes.
It has been advertised at May 6th, and there was an engagement that we were not aware of district-wide that pushed it to May 7th.
So we are pushing to Thursday, week from tomorrow, right? Yeah. No.
And
Yes.
and because this is our multilingual meeting, anyone here who can help with outreach, that would be very appreciated.
Yeah. And we know about the June 1st meeting is going to be in person, and it's going to be the big one. And then how to communicate with us. We've already posted the website, but please register. JT, go ahead.
I just wanted to share out that June 1st is the Skyline High School graduation, which I know that a lot of those individuals might be graduating from the district, but some of them might have younger siblings or such. But I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the scheduling stuff that we've been talking about was based on trying to work around a lot of different things, and the availability of interpretation and everything. So, but yeah, thank you for that. I just wanted to say quickly, the website is brand new, and we would like you guys to register. Everybody here, please just register for an account, confirm your account. That's how we're going to try and start communicating with folks via email, and we'll get you in there.
And for the Spanish speakers in the space, I would love Marina and Mayra, if you want a little bit of support to use it. It's very easy to use, and it does have a translation feature that we can test out to see how accurate it is.
Yes.
More important for us to use the most plain language because it translates better.
Yeah. Okay. And then we do have an exit survey, and I will also post these on the website on the page for this meeting. But
a quick note that I put the sign-in sheet again on the chat right when you were all meeting. If you did not sign in today, please do so. We need to know who came. So before we do the exit survey, here's the sign-in sheets. Please let us know that you were here and that we track schools and, different things in these sign-in sheets. So before we do the exit survey, which is more, and you can go on, Matt.
Yeah. And, really the last thing is to please fill out the exit survey in addition to all of that. And let's,
because the exit survey is different in that you can let us know how tonight went. You can share suggestions and requests. And I do want to say, offer support. Everybody doing this work even staff is doing it on a volunteer basis because it's above what they already do, and all the other volunteers. So we need help. And that's a space where you can offer support as well in the exit survey. So I'm going to put the English version of the exit survey in the chat right now. And I'll be more careful than the last time.
Do you want to say something, Cynthia, about the types of support that are needed so that folks can get an
Oh,
idea of
yes.
whether...
Thank you for saying that out loud.
Oh,
At
yeah.
the first meeting, we had a volunteer paid for the food. A private citizen donated money for childcare. Our Office of Equity is already stretched on interpretation, so that is a hardship for that budget. So just noting that. The space was donated by the person who manages the space. So just there are some in-kind things that are helpful, things that can be purchased on behalf of this group, and they are food and childcare primarily that can be supported by donations. We do not have a platform for that yet, but we
Actually,
can have it, or maybe we will.
I
But then
just set it up.
before, yeah, so, and that is not a donation, but it's like literally a purchase on behalf of. But then also, any project management capacity, like when we process sign-in sheets or we send messages, that type of logistical support is most welcome. And anything I forgot, Troy? We are offering awards that we have not yet figured out how we're gonna give them. So for a raffle on June 1st. So yes, if you have access to goodies that people would want to win a raffle for, we can advertise them. There's many ways to help. Direct outreach, I will take responsibility to doing very targeted outreach to a school or to a set of individuals. That is desperate because direct outreach works best. So yes, you can put it on your sign-in sheet and as exit survey, sorry, and we will reach out to you with what you're offering. So
I just wanted to
anything else,
piggyback.
Troy?
Not actually a new request, just that I wanted to tag this as related to the fear that people raise. Like one of the fears that people raise is that it won't go anywhere and people won't use our feedback and our input. And the more organized we can be, the more people who participate, the less likely that is to happen. And so we have a direct group shared responsibility because this is all volunteers. In order to be of the community, it's basically being run by community, which is a cobbling together of different groups and individuals who want to see this happen and done well. And so I'm just making my pitch. I'm volunteering because I feel like the district can't get where it needs to go unless it has this type of group prodding it along, so to speak. And so, I'm looking forward to more of you jumping in.
Thank
you
you.
so much for that, Troy.
And I will take the opportunity with an appreciation thank you on the screen to thank Matt very personally. He has used his own personal time, professional skills to set up a website completely on a pro bono basis. So that is like precious. And everybody who's putting in a little bit of their time and energy and resource to do this. Mayra, thank you for agreeing to support the Spanish group literally an hour before we opened this meeting. And you somehow got Felipe to come and help you. So thank you, Felipe. And the members of this planning group. And people who are quietly donating and doing things as well, so thank you. So appreciations are always a good way to end.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I don't know what else to say.
Okay. And thank you, interpreters. And your suggestions. The word feedback is not really strong in Spanish, folks. Your suggestions, ideas are most welcome for how to improve how we speak, what we say, what words we choose. So.
Could you tell them what comes next?
And what comes next? We did say in terms of a date, May 7th.
Yes. Okay.
May 7th at 6 p.m. You don't need to go far to find the link. It's on the district calendar at OUSD.org. There is an About Us. There's a tab and it has our district calendar. But I'm sorry I did a late reminder for those who go to committee meetings, and you already have the link in this presentation, and Matt has created a nice space for you to find everything as well. So I'm gonna
excuse me,
thank
Cynthia. Did you say May 7th? I just saw
Mm.
was May 6th.
Yes, it was a change. So
Okay.
this planning group was not aware of even though we went through every possible meeting in this district when we were planning, we were not aware that there was a district-wide event called Honoring Our Own. It had not been advertised at that time, at least not in a way that we saw. And so it was necessary for us to move it to the 7th. The 7th is normally the meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee, but that committee is not meeting on that day. So it made it possible for us to move it.
All
So
right.
does
Thank you.
that,
Thank you so much for
thank
clearing
you.
that.
So we do need a lot of messaging about that meeting up to that date. Help us out. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to stop recording right now.